What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gilly's House of Cards. I'm your host, David, and I am joined by my good friend and retired MLB pitcher, Scott the Sandman, Scott Sanders. Scott, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, my brother?
Not much, not much. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've done some kind of anything. So
right.
Before we get started, everybody, do me a favor. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit that bell, ring that subscribe button, and it'll notify you when we go live like this. Actually, this is our first live episode, so this is a good thing.
Heck yeah.
All right. So how you been? What's new?
Man, good. Just rocking and rolling, man. You know, it's 100 degrees every day, feels like it, and dodging hurricanes left and right. So, but
yeah,
we got one living in the South.
We got one coming up too, and it's just chaos.
Yeah. Yep.
Chaos at Publix. I think all the beer that was on sale was completely gone.
Yeah.
So it's good to know people have their priorities in order.
Water, beer, and toilet paper. That's the things, and bread.
Yeah.
Bread.
Yeah, for
Nobody
sure.
wants bread except until a hurricane comes over, and then everybody wants bread.
Yeah. So, welcome to the card show. This is a little bit different than what we usually do, but I figured it'd be cool to get you on, pick your brain about it since you pitched for a long time. What was it like when you saw your first baseball card?
So I was a big baseball. I was big when I was young, growing up, collecting baseball cards. Because my grandfather had gotten some, and then he gave them to my dad. But back then, a lot of people they didn't really take care of cards. You know what I mean? They would put it in the spokes of your bikes and make the noise, make the sound with it.
Yeah.
But I remember back in the day, I would get them in my stocking from Santa Claus. I'd get my mom would buy me some every so often. That's when they had the old nasty stick of bubble gum in there. The old mint flavored gum. And I believe it or not, I would always chew the gum because I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player. You know what I mean? So I felt like this is probably what these guys chew.
Yeah.
And but no, I remember I was a big baseball card collector. I'll be honest, I still have a bunch of cards somewhere at my mom's house, and I probably need to ask her because I've given it. My dad has done a lot of has taken over a lot of them now, and as he gets in retirement, he kind of messes with them some. But
yeah.
So, but I've always been a big baseball card collector.
Yeah, so I was talking to my dad about it, and he was telling me about the cards that he had, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I think I had like a third year Mickey Mantle card. I stuck in the spokes of my tires. I'm like, dude, why?
Because
I just cringed. I just cringed at what I was hearing. I was like, Dad, please don't tell me this.
Because back then, there's no way those people that those day and ages ever been like, this one day is going to be worth something.
Yeah.
Never crossed their mind once, ever.
No.
Because it was just part of life. You know what I mean? It's collecting things. It didn't happen back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the same thing with the late 80s and 90s. So my parents in general went around just collecting baseball cards for me when I was, a little bit younger than my son. And then they gave them to me one day. And I guess back in the 80s and 90s, anyone that played in the league, everybody got a card made in their honor, if you will, because I was going through a bunch of stuff about a year ago. And I'm like, there's nothing here. And because, they didn't start making all these sexy specialty cards until maybe the early 2000s, I think at the earliest is when they started with the special numbers and the one of whatevers and stuff like that. So
well, back when I played, pretty much if you made the opening day roster, they came to spring. They did a lot. They do a lot of their pictures. They get a good bit of spring training and or early in the year, and then what they do, they always had. They didn't call them team sets, but they would just call them full sets. You know what I mean? So pretty much, if you made the opening day roster, you were probably going to get it. Especially if you were a starting pitcher. You know what I mean? Or shortstop, or the closer, or the setup man, or somebody really important on the team. You're going to get a card in that set. Whether it be Don Ross or Fleer or Tops or Upper Deck. You know what I mean? Whatever it was, and so sometimes you had as many as 3-4 cards in a year, and then maybe towards the end of my career is when they kind of started the fancy foil ones, with the shiny stuff and all that stuff. Because I'll be honest, baseball cards, they died there for a minute. They kind of just took a back seat, and the baseball card companies reinvented themselves and said, "Hey, how can we become relevant again?" And then next, and I'll be honest, to me, I think the pandemic put it back on blast more than anything. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people had cards who were just sitting on them and like didn't think they were worth much, and next, people were like, "Hey, I need to make some money because I don't have a job." So they started selling things, and next, they bought, selling, buying things, and then next, here comes some monster cards. I think it was like that Trout card came out. I don't know, somebody paid 800,000 or a million, I don't know, something stupid for it. And then ever since that, I mean, it's been off the chains again, which I'm happy. I'm happy for it.
There was actually an Aaron Judge card. The most expensive Aaron Judge card sold for what they say, $324,000. Like, it's just insane. It's nuts.
There's a lot of money to bet on. There's a lot of money to bet on a baseball card. Hey.
And there was a story.
Hall of Famer, they'll double their money one day,
And there was a story out there that there was a guy that had this box of it was a box of Topps. I don't remember if it was Topps Chrome or just regular Topps. It might have been Chrome, but he had this box sitting in his closet. Didn't open it for 6-7 years, whatever it was, and he had a 1-of-1 Shohei Ohtani. No one could find this friggin' card anywhere.
He had it.
And they were like, this thing's got to be out there somewhere. Either someone has bought the box and is holding on to it and doesn't know that they have it, or the box never left the warehouse. And there was someone somewhere cracked this box open after however long and found this damn card that everybody was like searching the internet for. Like, the craze about it was just absolutely insane.
I bet. So, and with the year he's having, it's gonna be worth a pretty penny.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I know everyone didn't come to watch us yak all day, so I guess you're wondering why you're all here. Well, I got one of my submissions back, and yeah, it's an autograph edition. So let's see what we got. It's like, Christmas time.
That's right. Christmas in September.
So let's drag camera number 2 down so everyone can stare at my hands. Actually, this is the first episode I've done where I'm not wearing gloves. Everyone laughs. They're like, Dave, why do you wear gloves when you open your cards? I'm like, what are you, dumb? Like, you don't want to get fingerprints and oils and everything all over it. And I think it's working out because I sent a bunch of them down to HTC. They were doing a Topps 2024 Series 2 promo where it was like $12 a card, maybe less than that. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll play ball. And 17 out of the 25 came back as 10s. So I guess my theory works.
That's right. That's a good percentage.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? I was like, all these came back as 10s. I was like, I thought a few of them would, but 17 out of 25 of them.
Wow.
So this is a 10 card set.
Yeah.
10 cards that we sent out. So let's see what the first one is. Well, I wonder who signed this.
Look at that one. Hey. I know that dude.
So in case anyone wants to know, so we got a 95 Leaf. Card grade was a little low, and Scott, I guess they dinged you on the signature for whatever reason.
They did?
They gave it a 9.
What?
Yeah.
What the
gave
heck?
the damn thing a 9 on the signature. I was like, come on, man.
How is that possible?
I have no idea. So that's the first one.
Is it because my signature is not good?
No.
Like I'm saying, it's not pretty. Like it doesn't especially exactly say Sanders.
No, you might have lifted it up a little. Anyway, who knows how they do it? I mean, I know they put it under a microscope, and if there's like a break in the ink or whatever, I guess that's how it loses points. But
oh wow, that's crazy. I need to know. Next time I need to know, I need to sign it nice and slow.
Well, I mean, you were doing it in the middle of the day, in between work stuff. So whatever. So the backstory about this, okay, full disclosure, right? Scott and I were talking on the phone one night, And I got this crazy idea because I got into flipping cards, after we had Scott on the podcast. He did something we didn't ask him to do. He had a couple of baseball cards laying around, signed them for us, sent them back, and it kind of got my wheels turning. When I got into flipping cards, I had the complete 1994 Donruss set, and I said to Scott, I said, "Hey," I was like, "You mind signing this and sending it back to me?" And he was like, "Sure, just send it to me." He goes, how many other of my cards do you have? I'm like, I don't know. I think I got like 30 something of them. He goes, send them all to me. I'll sign them and I'll send them back. So this is how we have the autograph edition. So thank you, Scott. You're a true friend.
You're welcome, brother.
So let's see what the next one is. I think this one's gonna bring back some memories, and you can talk about this one a little bit. So
oh yeah.
So we got 1993 Classic Best, card grade 8, and the autograph was a 10. So
yeah, got a 10. At least got a 10 on that.
10-8. A 10-8 isn't bad.
Yeah, for a minor league card, 8's pretty good though.
The Las Vegas Stars.
That's right.
AAA team, huh?
Oh yeah.
What was it like playing there?
23 years old. 23 years old playing in Las Vegas wasn't a bad gig.
what could possibly go wrong?
The best part about it was people freak out because we used to stay in the hotel when we were in town, and me and a buddy, we'd have teammates. We'd split a room, and we were staying at the Sahara, which at the time, believe it or not, was one of the nicer hotels. And because Caesar's Palace was the creme de la creme, and then they had the Riviera, and then like one of the next nice ones was the Sahara. We stayed at the Sahara for $19 a night.
You got to be kidding me!
$19 a night.
$19 a night.
$19 a night. We split it. We split. Yep, we split it. Me and a teammate, and we'd come home. We 10, 12 days to stay in a hotel. Then we would go on the road. We'd bring one suitcase with us, and they'd keep the other suitcase in the luggage room for us. We get back. We check in. $19 a night, or 7. It was either 17 or 19.
Easy.
Yeah, I think it was honestly. I think it was 17 a night, but I'm going to say 19 to be safe. But it was in the teens.
Man,
19. Yeah, that was 1992.
Man, just the thought of that.
I know.
Did you win any money?
I tell people all the time, you can't even get an Uber
for
$19 and go anywhere in Las Vegas today.
That's probably how much the drinks cost in Las Vegas, and now at the bar.
A beer costs $19.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So that's a good one. So I found a guy on eBay, and he had like a bunch of your cards. I think I grabbed like 12 of them off of him for like $5, $5 or $10 total. And I think I called you and told you, I was like, hey, you got like this massive fan out there. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, dude, I just found some guy on eBay with like 15 of your cards. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. So good old eBay. So let's see what the next one is. So this one we got 2023 Topps Heritage. So Oswaldo Cabrera. It's a Gem Mint 10 across the board. Card grade 10, auto 10. So the backstory behind this, I went to spring training this past March, and Cabrera was signing autographs. And I asked him, I was like, hey, mind signing this? He was like, nah, man. Grabbed it, signed it. Really humble kid. And so yeah, this one's not going anywhere. This one's going right on the shelf. So
that's a good piece.
This one's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, 10-10.
Yeah. I was shocked. I was like, wow. It's my first PSA 10.
Yeah.
All the other 10s came from SGC, which is now owned by PSA, but same. But
there you go.
Here we go. Scott again. Auto 9, card grade 9. Not horrible.
Yeah, no.
But I know but you see right here. I don't know if you can tell, but I think you had a bad marker. Right there at the top.
Yeah.
But Score, I don't even think they're even around anymore.
Nope, I don't think so either.
I think they were like one of those card companies in the 90s that tried to make it, but
they probably got bought out by somebody else, to be honest, probably.
Yeah, probably. Next up, 2023 Topps, Oscar Gonzalez. Another 10, straight 10 across the board.
Wow.
So this is actually his rookie card. So I know somebody that knows him. I won't go into detail, but me and this person are very good friends, and I had three cards sitting around, and Mr. Gonzalez was kind enough to sign them up for me. So got to see him in spring training at the same game that Cabrera signed that card at. So he ended up playing in the minor leagues this year. Didn't get a chance to crack the major league roster, but still pretty cool. We got another one. Oh, Scott, here's another one. 1991
Waterloo
autograph 10 card 9. So got another 10-9. So what was it like playing in Waterloo, and where was this? Up in Washington?
Waterloo, Iowa.
Okay.
Waterloo, Iowa. Yeah, that's in the Midwest.
I feel like this
League.
has some good stories.
Yeah. It was there was the dugout to get from the clubhouse to the dugout. This stadium was probably built in like 1806. And
are you being serious or are you being sarcastic?
No, but probably early 1900s, probably 1910 or so. This stadium was so old. But when you left the clubhouse to walk to the dugout, you literally had to squat down because they had it was almost like it was a tunnel, but it was literally probably 3 feet high by 3-4 feet wide. So to get to the dugout, the only way to get to the dugout is you had to squat down, push your stuff through, crawl under, and not crawl, but you could kind of like duck walk underneath, and you pop out the dugout. Yeah.
Tall guy like you must have been having a real hard time with it.
It was brutal. Yeah, it's bad.
Oh man.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay. We got another Oscar Gonzalez. So this one autograph was a 10, card 9. So it must have some nicked edges or something that dropped it down a point. So, but still pretty
solid.
Cool. Yeah,
solid.
Absolutely. This one is probably my favorite one out of all the ones that came back. So, and I don't even know if I can even part ways with this damn thing because I'm just so in love with it. So I had no idea that MLB made that Skybox made these for MLB, because back in '97, which was the same year this came out, the NFL had these crazy looking cyborg football cards. I actually have them up somewhere in my office. I think up on the shelf. But yeah, 1997 Metal Universe autograph 10, card 8. I got it off of another person. So secondhand cards always tend to not be in great shape because people don't take care of them. But
so it was an 8.
Yeah, the card was an 8, autograph was a 10. So that's where it carries the weight. Really, is the autograph.
Probably got a little nicked up the edges, probably.
But yeah, this one's very pretty. I don't think I can part ways with this one.
Yeah, that's a sweet card. I hadn't seen that card in a minute. When you sent it, I was like, "Ooh, it had been a hot minute since I've seen that card."
Really?
Yeah.
Which one was your favorite out of all the ones that came out? I know there must have been like thousands of them that came out, but you got to have one that you were like, "Man, this is really sweet. I really like this one."
Well, that one you just showed is one of my favorites because it's so rare. It's kind of a rare one, you know what I mean? And it's hard to find, hard to come across. Obviously, my first big league card was pretty special to me, you know what I mean, too. So, but I have a few that I kind of really like, just because of the way my body is in it. You know, I got one. I want to say it might have been one of the first ones you showed, but I could be wrong. But I think I'm like at Wrigley. It looks like I'm at Wrigley Field, but I'm with the Padres. But yeah, so that's a pretty cool.
I know which one you're talking about. I haven't.
Yeah, it's a sideways card, and I'm kind of stretched out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah. Now. I still have it. It's got to get sent out, but I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorites.
So
I got a cool one too. Actually, this is one of my favorites too. I don't know if you can see it, but it's I'm with the Mariners. But the cool thing is, like, you can see the ball. The ball is also in the picture, and you can see my eyes like just laser focused on the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm kind of finishing. You know. Yeah.
So next one we got Johnny Burrito's rookie card. Again, I know someone that knows him, and hooked me up. So autograph was a 9, card. Autograph was a 10, card was a 9. So it's actually the only one that I haven't had of his. So
say it again. What was it? Who was that again?
Burrito.
Oh yeah. And what was it? You said it was a
23 tops rookie card. Autograph was a 10. Card was a 9.
Still good. 9 solid.
Yeah. This last one, though, I don't really agree with it because I pulled it straight out of a pack, put it in a protector, and stashed it. So this one was a real gut punch, unfortunately. So my man, Wandy Peralta, who we had on the Bronx Muchachos back in February of 23. Really awesome guy. Still talk to him here and there to this day. Really humble, down to earth dude. It was really sad when he didn't come back. But again, same person that I was talking about earlier knows him as well. And it came back the card grade came back as a 6. I don't know how in the hell this came back as a 6 because it looks pretty pristine to me. But the signature was a 10. But when I saw the card grade, I'm like, how is this freaking thing a 6?
Does it look a little off center or something?
I can't really tell. Like, so to me, someone that doesn't do this for a living, I can't tell what's off center or not. Maybe you can, because
I wouldn't be able to either. But maybe
that's the only thing.
Do they ever tell you? They don't send a. Do they send a report back to why?
No, they don't. They don't, and none of them actually do. Believe it or not, SGC doesn't either.
That'd be nice. Just if you knew, you know what I mean. But you said a 6.
A 6.
Wow.
Excellent to mint 6.
You think it would have chewed up corners or something for a 6?
Yeah, you think a dog would have gotten a hold of it and tried to have it for lunch or whatever. But it's for my personal collection. It means something. Yeah. It's something special to me. It's not going anywhere, but still, it's man.
It would be interesting to mark that card and send it back to them and see if it comes back as an 8, 10. You know what I mean?
I would then be throwing money away.
You would be, but I bet you if you sent that back, I bet you if you sent that back, I bet it would come back better than the 6 next time.
So that's the thing. All this is someone's opinion. You know what I mean? This is somebody's opinion.
Yeah.
So, and PSA tends to be a little bit more strict when it comes to certain things. SGC is a little bit more forgiving, I guess you could say. But even those, I showed you those vintage cards from the 60s and 70s that I sent out, and all these came back it was a chicken. So Paul Wooden jumping in on the comments. He said that BGS tells what the grading is on centering. Okay. So thanks, Paul. Appreciate you, my brother. So but we got more cards on the way back. So this isn't the last time we do this, but so that's it for the card portion of it. So not too shabby.
Yep, you got some good ones.
Yeah. And there they all go, falling all over the place.
They just went down 2 grades.
Yeah. Well, good thing they're all on plastic.
They're now all uncentered.
Yeah. Well, they're centered. They're just centered on my floor. Anyway, so what was it like when you were playing and you had someone ask you to sign their card at the game? What was it like when you signed your first baseball card?
Yeah, so obviously, I did some in the minor leagues too. You know what I mean? Because as you can see, they still do have. I mean, we did have minor league cards as well, and they always had there'd be different type of sets. Sometimes it'd be Mother's Cookies would kind of sponsor a set of cards or something. You know what I mean? But it was always special. I was a big card collector, and I used to like to collect autographs as well when I was a kid. So I always tried to sign as many autographs as I could. Sometimes it got tough with the kids and the family around, you know what I mean? Because, you'd sign 10 and 12 and there'd be 50 people there, but the kids would be pulling at you. So you have to tell them, hey, I'll get you next time. And somebody always got mad, but I always enjoyed, signing autographs whenever I could.
Well, and you still are. So
yep, exactly.
That's the important thing. But yeah, it gets kind of crazy. I can't imagine actually I can't imagine what it's like because I've actually seen it in real time. But actually the minor leaguers, they can't sign during the games anymore. So
really?
When we went to the shrimp game last week, and Parker Dunshee came over and gave Aaron a ball that was fouled off. So he came walking over and handed it to Aaron. So he's like, "Daddy, he gave me a baseball." So I was like, "Oh boy."
Yeah.
So Marie kind of looks at me and she goes, "You know what you got to go do now, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I took him down to we were sitting by the Gwinnett Stripers bullpen, which is the Braves AAA team. I keep calling them the Gwinnett Braves, and I always will, just because that's what they were called when I was a kid growing up. They would always go up and play the Pawtucket Red Sox in Rhode Island. And so I walk over there and I got his attention. I'm like, "Hey, where's my son?" He's like, "I'd love to. We just can't do it during the game. We're going to get hemmed up." He's like, "Where you sitting?" I was like, "Over there by the dugout." He's like, "All right." He goes, "When the game's over, I'll come back. I'll come over and I'll take care of you." And he did. And came walking over. I gave him the marker. He signed the ball. And
Nice.
it hit Aaron's eyes lit up like you wouldn't believe.
I bet so.
He's holding it. He's like, "Daddy, he signed my baseball." I was like, "Man, it's the first of many, son." I was like, "This isn't gonna be the last one." So, but yeah, it was great to see. I was like, "Man," I was like, "This kid's got it made." I was like, it took me until I was 28 to get my first autograph. My first spring training, right? Spring training 2016. I go down there and my first time being the spring training, and I'm just like blown away of how like close you're able to get to the game at that time of the year. And this was a first for me. So I was like a kid in the candy store, and Reggie Jackson came walking by and grabbed my ball and my pen and signed. I was like, "Ah!" I was shaking when he handed it back to me. I was like, "Holy hell." I was like, "Reggie Jackson just signed my friggin' baseball." I immediately call my dad. Like, I'm fangirling the hell out of this. I call my dad. I'm like, "Dad. He's like, what is the matter with you?" And I was like, "You're not gonna believe." He's like, "Where are you?" I was like, "I'm in Tampa at spring training." He's like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Reggie Jackson just signed my baseball." He was like, you just heard a silence, and he was like, "You got a baseball signed by Reggie Jackson?" I was like, "Yeah." And then to round out that day, I got Hideki Matsui, CC Sabathia, Didi. This was when Aaron Hicks had first gotten traded over here.
Good
So
day.
yeah, oh yeah, El Duque. So yeah, I have one whole baseball with all these signatures on it. It's pretty cool. But and then I realized how much space baseballs take up, and that's when I was like, I think I might have to switch over to the cards now. So so that's what I'm currently into, since I have like 3 whole shelves full of autographed baseballs now. But anyway, my brother, I appreciate it. I don't want to keep it too long. I know you just got out of work, and I don't want the wife getting mad at me for screwing up dinner.
Real quick about Reggie Jackson. I still remember the first time I met him. I was in Anaheim. We were playing the Angels. I think this was 1997. And he was just walking around the clubhouse talking to everybody. Obviously, I was with the Mariners, so he was talking with Griffey and a few guys. And so obviously he came around, and I met him, and I was shocked how, you watch him play. I watched him play as a kid. You know what I mean? The guy would hit the ball, foot looked like 600-700 feet. You know what I mean? Always hit. I just thought, I'm 6'4", 230 pounds. So I just figured Reggie Jackson would be my size. When he walked up and he was like this tall, I was like, "Oh my God, this Reggie Jackson. He's not even 6 foot tall. Maybe he might be 6 foot tops. You know what I mean? If that." But I was so shocked because the way he played, his stature, his image. I would have thought he was 6'5" and 240 pounds. You know what I mean?
And that spring training that I met him and he signed my baseball. That was Aaron Judge's first major league spring training. And I was there with a friend of mine. He had season tickets to spring training. So we were sitting like 2 rows off the field, and Judge comes walking by, right? And I was like, that is one big dude.
Yeah.
And like I had been following his minor league career because the guy just has a badass name, right? Aaron Judge. Like, how much more badass of a name is it than that?
Yeah.
And so when I saw I don't think he played. He might have been there filling in or whatever, but he come walking by. I was like, this dude is the size of Rob Gronkowski. Like,
yeah, no,
and then to see him fast forward 7 years later, and he's just yoked. He's huge.
He's a man. He's a man child.
For sure. So, before we go, thanks for everybody for watching. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button. If you like what we're doing, let us know. We'll keep doing it. And don't forget, Bronx Muchachos tomorrow night, 9 p.m. We had to switch from Thursday to Sunday because we're getting an impending hurricane, and we wanted to be able to get our content out and not get held up by a hurricane. So we got episode 167 coming out tomorrow night with Josh, my friend Josh from Section 336 of the Baltimore Orioles podcast. So depending on how tonight goes, he might be sad or really sad, depending on the outcome, because we got Clark Schmidt versus Dean Kramer tonight. So hopefully tonight is it, and we're raising another AL East title and off to the playoffs. And we're 3.5 games away from clinching home field advantage throughout. So check us out tomorrow night on YouTube, Bronx Muchachos and Section 336. For my boy Scott, I'm David, and we will see you on the next go around.
Peace.